Well, welcome everybody to the Business Insurance Zone. I'm Eric Palmer, and with me today is a very special guest, the new strategic long-term care consultant here for Brokers Alliance, Leni Cohen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, Leni, you have so many titles in reality, and your experience is extensive. So what I want to do here today is just start out having you tell us a little bit about your background and what got you into long-term care to begin with.
Okay. I do wear lots of hats, but in all honesty, it all stems back to 1982 when I was actually a caregiver for my mom. She had a terminal illness, so I was a caregiver for her for 2 years. I was about 43 years old, and I experienced what they talk about in the long-term care industry on a very personal level. I experienced the emotional highs and lows, the financial highs and lows, and the physical highs and lows of taking care of a person with a long-term illness.
And you had your new family at the time. You had kids. Was it 4 children?
Yes.
And you're working. Both of you were working, and you had your mother at home that you had to take care of. So I have to imagine that as you mentioned, the physical side, but financially, that's got to be pretty tough.
At that time, the only insurance that existed for her was Medicare. They didn't have any long-term care companies. They were just coming onto the scene. So the whole responsibility was on us, was on the family.
So at that point, you decided there was an importance to really start getting into long-term care. Now, your background before that, you were an educator.
Correct.
So you already kind of came from a place of teaching individuals about things. So tell us about kind of how you transitioned. You got into the long-term care business. You took what you knew from the education background and you applied it to the long-term care industry.
When I left the educational field, I decided to go into insurance. And I really wanted to do something for seniors. At that time, most of the people who were looking at this type of insurance, long-term care insurance, were 65 years old. Today, the age of the people looking at it started 40. So I started my career with John Hancock.
Okay.
And concentrated on long-term care constantly. And really honed my skills in at that time. And then I was invited to train and become a trainer and an educator for a large insurance company in South Florida. And I jumped on the chance to, 1, become an educator again,
right,
and 2, stay in the market of long-term care.
Now you've evolved into a specialty, really a niche in the long-term care or the extended home care marketplace, dealing with declines and the impaired risk side of the business. Tell me a little bit about that. Why did you center towards that or gravitate towards that particular section of our industry?
The interesting thing is you fall into things that fit your needs. And that's exactly what happened. I had applied for an insurance, type of a health insurance, and I was declined. And my first reaction is, it could not happen to me, it can't be me. And so I went and did a little research and spoke to the insurance company, and they indicated that I had a severe heart condition. Well, the fact of the matter is I don't have a heart condition at all.
Right.
And went back to the medical facility and found out, in all honesty, someone else's records were put into my files.
Really?
And at that point, I said, okay, I'm already in the long-term care field. I need to help people who also fall into that situation. And so for the past 3 years, I have been a consultant with a national agency for decline reviews and appeals.
So what's interesting about your career, Leni, is everything comes from a personal experience. You've gone through it yourself, and I think what's really important here for all the agents that are watching this show today is that Leni has an extensive background. She comes from a place of not just understanding the products, but understanding why we sell them. And if you've listened to me at all in any of the other shows, I always talk about the importance of why. It's not what we sell, it's why we sell it. And if you at all have any questions about long-term care, any interest whatsoever, I suggest that you get in touch with Leni here at Brokers Alliance. Leni, how do we get a hold of you? Your email address here at Brokers Alliance.
My email address is leni.cohen, leni.cohen at brokersalliance.com.
And you see it right now on the screen, of course, or there at the bottom. Take a look, grab that email address, and send Leni an email. And if you've got a case you want us to take a look at, we really truly now have an expert here at Brokers Alliance, coming from a place of experience, coming from the capability of looking at those hard to place cases. Leni, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show, and I look forward to doing some more programming with you.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being here today.
Thanks so much.